All right, welcome to another GhostCast Paranormal Tales. Next week we should have music. This week, unfortunately, I haven't. But this week is a really, really important story I want to tell because I get asked over and over again, can our pets come back? We've all heard of ghosts and people ghosts, but can our pets come back? So I wanted to tell you a tale. It's a personal story. And then after I finish, we're going to bring on a guest who's also had some strange encounters, and she's going to explain her story. But first of all, I want to bring up this little fella here. So, in fact, I'll bring him up a bit bigger for you. This little fella here, his name was Saxon, and he was my little pride and joy. He was a male German Shepherd. And German Shepherds, if you've never had one, they become extremely loyal to one person, and he was extremely loyal to me. He passed away many years ago. But as he got older and older and more rickety, and he needed to rest more, one of the days I had a friend come around to visit. Now, I also have horses, and one of my horses had a little bit of a problem. So we went down to the yard to sort out the horse. Now, Roz realized we were missing something. She said, I'll go back to the house and I'll go and get it. So Roz went back to the house. We have a long driveway. And as Roz went back, my friend went back, I watched Saxon, who was very old by then, trotting on behind her. Now, I also watched Saxon trotting back with her as well, which I thought, that's strange. I did have that little thought. That's strange because Saxon is actually quite old and rickety, and he doesn't really trot as quickly as I was seeing him trot. We dealt with the horse and made sure the horse was fine, and we started to go back to the house. And at that point, I realized I hadn't seen Saxon. So I said to Roz, have you seen Saxon? I thought maybe Saxon had collapsed somewhere, and I was very worried about him. I said, have you seen Saxon? She said, yeah. She said, he's back at the house. She said, I saw him there. He was asleep. And I said, well, he couldn't have been because I saw him coming down with you. I said, he was here not long ago. I saw him following you back down the driveway. She said, no, he was fast asleep in the house. And we looked everywhere, couldn't find him. And then I described the dog that I'd seen trotting up the driveway with Roz. She went white because it turned out it was her dog. Her dog had passed away a couple of years before. The description was exact to her dog. That dog went everywhere with her. It was in the car, it went to the stables, and it had passed away a couple of years. I hadn't seen that dog because I'd met her after that. And she had been wondering. She had said to me that afterwards that she had felt the dog frequently in the car with her. She could feel the breath. She could hear the panting. She just felt the dog was around her. And it's like, well, I think your dog is, because I did see your dog trotting up the driveway and back down again. We did check. Saxon was curled up here in the house, fast asleep. So it definitely wasn't Saxon. So can our pets? Why not? You know, if we can come back as spirit and ghost, if our pets have an attachment to us, why can't our pets? So, all right. I'm going to just have a quick break, and then I'm going to bring on somebody in a minute. Carrie, you've got German Shepherds as well. So I'm going to open it up to little questions, and then I'm going to talk about some other animal ghosts as well. So, hello, Lisa. Now, I am going to ask if anybody can you please go and watch us on YouTube? It's better quality on YouTube, and also it gives us that watch hours that we need. So if you're quite happy to cut across to YouTube, I'm still going to see your comments. So Saxon, yeah, I will say that I haven't really felt Saxon. And if anybody's got a great little story, okay, then definitely let me know. I can pop you on here. I can give you a link We can pop you in, so that won't be a problem. I'm also in a minute going to talk about this, all right, because people also ask, is it just dogs and cats? That isn't a real ghost, by the way, but that was my horse. She is passed away now. She was beautiful. She was actually black. But I am going to talk about horse in a minute. It's not just dogs and cats. So, Sammy, if you go to Adelaide Haunted Horizons, in fact, if somebody can put the link up in the comments on Facebook for the YouTube version, that would be great. Adelaide's Haunted Horizons Ghost Tours. That would be absolutely brilliant. So, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that big fella off. That was a girl, by the way. I'm going to just drop that photograph because I want to bring up some more photographs, because I do have another photograph I want to show you. So I'm on my own today, so just bear with me. All right. All right. I'm going to bring on Jenny Boyle. Jenny Boyle, going to bring Jenny in. There we go. Hello, Jenny.
Hello.
Jenny is actually a paranormal investigator yourself. Jenny has joined me. Where we met was actually on one of my tours at Taylortown. And it's like, oh, here's an investigator. And I think Jenny has made me laugh more than anybody. Her humor is just wicked. We absolutely love Jenny to death. She's also a subscriber on Patreon, so it kind of keeps us all laughing there. Jenny, you've got a little bit of a tale to tell.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna bring you up. In fact, no, I'm gonna bring your little guy up first. I want you to explain some of these photographs.
Oh, my son, many years ago, decided he had to have a cat. One he could cuddle and love and all the rest. And we ended up with Stolly, innocent little Stolly. And I think if you bring up the next one, it might explain it.
All right. Let me do it. So you don't want a cemetery, do you?
No, not yet. That's the one, back one. There you go.
There in the end.
So this was taken a week after we got young Stolly. By this stage, my son's already learnt not to pick him up facing him, otherwise he'll get scratched. The dog lived in fear of his life. The cat would actually ride on his back, digging the claws in. Stolly was very standoffish. He wasn't the cat my son had hoped for. But he was ours, and they all match: red-haired, red, white dog. So Stolly became part of the household under his own terms. So I think there's a few pictures of Stolly as he grew up being Stolly. Not that one. Go back. Oh, there. So there's my two in the end.
Well, I've got that one.
Mm.
And I've got that.
No, that's not it either. There's one with Stolly. The two of them together might do it.
All right.
There you go. So Neo, the darker ginger on the right, was one that came into our household by accident. And he was everything my son wanted. Cuddly, affectionate, sat like a cat, did cat things. As you can see from this photo, wherever Stolly landed, that was rough enough, basically. He wasn't a regal cat, shall we say. The two of them had vastly different personalities. Stolly loved chicken, turkey. Neo loved seafoods, tuna. Just never crossed over, the two of them. That's all right. I think there's one picture of Neo later on. Next one, I think. Yeah, there he is. He would just look at you. Neo would just look at you lovingly and made the little pussycat beds and everything that he wanted. Unfortunately, he got a brain tumour. And it happened quite quickly in the end. He left us. And literally that night when I came back, Stolly went right off his food. Wouldn't touch chicken, wouldn't touch any food out. couple of days went past and I was getting a bit desperate, and there was some leftover food from Neo. I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose. So I put the seafood out, and Stolly ate it like it was his last meal. And my son and I just looked at each other and went, hang on, that's really odd. A couple of nights later again, my son said, this is something really weird going on, Mum, because I woke up in the middle of the night and Stolly was sleeping on his head, just like Neo used to. But more interestingly was the fact that he was purring like Neo used to purr. Stolly never purred, ever. I don't think I ever heard it. Neo had a real deep body-shaking purr. Even to the point that the dog would come around the corner, see Stolly, and look at him. And if he was lying like this with his legs apart and just being Stolly, he'd do a U-turn and take off out of the room. He'd walk in. I think there's one more picture. It was taken about 3 months after Neo passed, of Stolly lying like Neo, like a cat. Yes, that one. We never saw Stolly do anything like that prior to Neo's passing. In the end, we didn't really grieve Neo because it felt like both of them were in the same body. It was really weird, to say the least.
That actually, I'm going to take these off a minute and get back onto a two-person thing. Actually, that one looks less.
Thank you.
I'm looking at me going, ooh, that's a bit. It's like, it's odd you say that. I mean, I know it's not like people say they feel a cat and everything else, but I don't know if I've got a picture of it, but I've had that where you get a pet and suddenly it behaves like another pet that you had.
Yeah. And look, I sat there trying to justify it. Oh, he's missing his friend. He saw his friend eat this, so I'm eating that. But even down to his stance would be different.
Yeah.
It didn't always stay. He would actually get up on your lap and make beds like Neo did and stay with you for a good half an hour. Unheard of for Stolly. Yeah, I can't really explain it. Yeah.
I wanted to just bear with me, guys, because I'm just bringing up a dog that I got after that. All right, let me go into this because I had the same thing. It's really bizarre, but I had the same thing with this dog here. All right, so when I used to have 2 German Shepherds, I used to have Saxon and I used to have another one called Tala. And they both were about the same age and they both passed away within about a year of each other. And I said, no more dogs. All right, that's it. No more dogs. My husband said the same thing. That's it. We want to have free time. And then I don't even know how it happened. I suddenly found I had a friend who bred Tala and Saxon, had moved back to Adelaide. I went, oh, I'll drop in on her. And I did. And she had a new litter of puppies. And I went, they're cute. German Shepherds. But this particular puppy wouldn't leave me alone. It was like she knew me. It was the weirdest thing. In fact, I took the kids down and I took my husband down and we opened the puppy pen and all the puppies ran out like they did and gambled all over the place. But she came running straight up to us. In fact, Sandra, who bred her, we even put us out the way over, and she still would find us. This dog, it's, you know how dogs choose you?
Yeah.
So we thought, okay, we're going to have to bring this dog home. And we did, and she was bizarre. The first thing she did was go and do exactly what Tala used to do. Not Tala, Sita, sorry, used to do. This is Tala here. So she would go to the places. Sita had been dead 2 years, by the way. But she went to the places that Sita used to lie in straight away. She was doing everything that Sita used to do. In fact, Sita used to, if I was in the bath, she would come into the bathroom and she would stick her head in the bath and blow bubbles with her nose. All right. Tala did the same thing. She came into the bathroom, stuck her head in there, started blowing bubbles. It was the most bizarre thing. It was like having the dog back, but in a different body.
Not normal
It's not.
dog behavior. Yeah.
Two dogs, exactly the same personality. And like you with the cat, totally changing the personality as well.
Yeah.
So, it's a weird one. It wasn't that the ghost was here of the dog. It was almost like the dog took on the persona of the other animal.
As my son said, we had two cats in the one body.
Yeah.
That's how he viewed it. He would look and see how the cat was presenting itself, and he'd go, hello, Neo, if he was sitting like Neo, or hello, Stolly. We just didn't feel like Neo ever left.
So have you got both? Have you got the cat still, or was the other cat gone as well? Or
they're both gone now. Yeah, this was all back in 2011, 2012.
Did that continue? I'm going to take my little puppy off.
Oh, yeah, right till Stolly's last day. You get up in the morning, there'd be Stolly just lying wherever Stolly wanted to. And by lunchtime, you look around, there's a very regal cat looking back at you. It was like they took turns. Yeah.
Wow. Trina says she is a reincarnation of her cavalier. Trina, did you want to pop on and talk about it? You don't have to, but hey.
More the merrier.
More the merrier on here. I can send you a link. This is only a short one, guys. Paranormal Tales is only about half an hour. I know I ramble on for longer usually, but we might actually on Ghost. Hello, Charmaine. We might on GhostCast actually cover ghost animals because it's such a fascinating subject, Ghosts of horses. I was hoping to bring up the Talem horse.
Oh, yes.
But I'll see if I can just find it. When you've been investigating, because obviously you investigate as well. That's how we first met, as you came to one of our venues. When you've been investigating, and if I'm looking over here, it's because I'm just trying to find a photograph. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Have you come across animals in your investigations? When you've been on the site of these places, when you've been in these old buildings, have you ever come across animals?
The only one I could think of, and I was thinking of this last night because I've investigated all over Australia. My work, I move around a lot. And the only one I could think of was actually down at Willow Court.
Oh, gosh. Old Charmaine on at the moment.
Hi, Charmaine. I stayed in an old place. Charmaine would know it, the Norfolk Inn. Very old building, a whole site in itself. I really want to go back.
Yeah.
It had a lovely feel to it, but you still felt like there was a lot going on that you couldn't see, hear, or feel. And I woke up, as I often do in the middle of the night, as old girls tend to. But I could distinctly hear a cat meowing. I thought, oh, that's odd. The owner must have a cat. So I went down when I was checking out the next morning. I just said to her, is your cat all right? I could hear it. And she just looked at me. There was no cat in the building, nowhere. And it was all locked up, and I was by myself in there. There was no other guests. But distinctly a cat. Yeah.
So you could hear it? Did you feel it at all? Or?
No, I could just hear it. Just hear it. And I thought, it sounded like it was either in my room or in the hallway, very close. But, yeah. But that was the only incident I could think of in all the places I've ever been.
Yeah. Trina, Trina says, yes, that's fine. What I'll do is I might actually post I think I'm allowed to post in the comment. I'm only going to accept Trina, though, at this stage. So I'm going to put a link in here. And mind you, it's Trina, I'd rather keep the link. Are you on my page at all? Are you a friend of mine on Alison Oborn? If not, either message Alison Oborn or message, I'd like to know about the ghost tiger at Taronga Zoo as well. I've just seen that comment.
That sounds really interesting.
I can see that it's going to go longer than half an hour. Hi, Catherine. Hello, everybody. Alicia, Catherine, Courtney, David. Oh, David, hello. I didn't see all the names because I've been busy trying to find a folder. Can you, though? I'm going to just get that link for you. So I'd like to bring Trina on. So you can join us as well. You can hang out as well. So don't think that you can't. I can PM you. Let me see if I can, Trina.
It was the old colonial inn. Thanks, Charmaine.
Let me just see if I can. Yeah, we are friends, Trina, so that's all right. I can. It's only that sometimes it won't. Oh, it won't let me. Hang on. Let me just get that again. I think the tiger, I think this is worth listening to, guys. I know I'm interested in this. Paste. All right. Okay, Trina, I've sent you the link, so all you have to do is accept it and come on. All right, before we do bring Trina on, I do want to bring this girl up. I'm going to go back to animals because people say, why is it just cats and dogs? It's not. All right, this is Rose. Rose is a Clydesdale cross that Peter Squires from Tailem Town used to have. Used to have quite a few of these, and they've all passed away. Rose, I knew very well. She'd already had cancer in the other eye that you can't see, so she had to have her eye removed, unfortunately. Now, unfortunately, she also got what you call sand colic, which is fatal to horses, or can be. So her bowel twisted, and the only thing they could do was put her down. So, which was sad. I went up and found she wasn't there anymore. Now, here's the weird thing, because it'll bring us both up. Because not long after that, I had a tour at Tailem Town, and we'd come along the street, and we come past this horse shelter, and somebody said, "Where's the horse?" Now, I thought they'd been up before, knew there was horses there, had seen the little sign that said, "Don't stroke the horses, bitey horses," kind of thing. And I said, unfortunately, she passed away a short time ago. They had to put her down last week. And she went, "No." She says, "I've just seen a horse in the shelter." And it's like, "Well, you couldn't have seen a horse in the shelter." I said, "What did she look like?" She said, "Well, she was a big horse. She looked like a, cart. She called her a cart horse, but obviously Clydesdales, things like that." And it's like, yeah, no, Rose was put down about a week ago. And then 2 weeks after that, I had another tour, and I got the same question as we came past that area. Somebody said, "Where's the horse?" I was like, "What horse?" She said, "Well, I've just heard a horse in the shelter snorting that horses do." It's like, no, we don't have any horses anymore. I haven't had her for a while, but we basically, for the first few weeks after she went, we had people talking about seeing and hearing a horse in there, even though I never talk about horses on the tours. In fact, I never talk about animals on the tours. So, Trina, did you get the link at all? I'm going to take this little guy off again. Bless Rose. In fact, if you ever go and look at a music video, there's a music video, the Hearse song, it's called, and it's on YouTube. I'll put a link up, and it was filmed at Tailem Town, and you can see Rose tied up in the street. So that was just before, a couple of weeks before she was put down. Come on, Trina. Oh, Trina's here. All right, so I'm going to add Trina to the screen. Trina, hello. How are you? Can you hear?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm gone again. No, I'm back.
How's this fella? Is this the one we're talking about?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good.
Well,
so you want to talk about...
It sounds very bad for some reason. Probably because I'm on a tablet.
Headphones.
Hang on. Let me turn them off.
All right, how's that sounding?
That's better.
There we go.
Much better. Well, I'm a bit backlit here, but I do have Clover, who is the reincarnation of my little cavalier. Josie.
Okay, how do you know? What happened? What gave you that impression that she was...
Well, Josie was a rescue dog, and she was actually my very first foster dog. And the night that I brought her home, she was already an adult, so she was about 8. I brought her home, and she jumped up on the back of the couch. It was in a different house, but I still had the same couches. And that became her spot. And there's an indentation in the back of the couch from where she slept. I only had her for 2 years. She ended up dying of heart failure.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved from Adelaide to Port Lincoln, and I was there for probably about 8 months. And I got a text from a friend saying, can you come and have a look at this little puppy that's not doing very well? So off I went, and Clover at that point was a tiny little, like 1.5 kilo ball of fluff. And I just fell in love with her and decided to take her home at that point. And took her home, and pretty much the very first half an hour she was in the house, she'd scrambled up and she'd put herself in Josie's spot. And she still lays there.
Isn't it strange? Yeah, that's what mine is.
I mean, she's got a very different personality. I mean, she's younger as well, but she's the same coloration. Josie was a black and tan Cavalier, and Clovey is a black and tan, I'm not quite sure what.
Special.
But yeah, it was just that, a coincidence of fate, I guess, that we crossed paths again.
Oh wow, and it's weird, isn't it? How it happens. It's just how you pets.
I've got a photo of Clover here. I mean, not Clover, Josie, but you probably won't be able to see it because it's so dark. But
let me bring you up. Let me because then I'll make a big screen and then we can all see.
Yeah, sorry. That was her adoption photo, but I ended up keeping her. Oops.
Wow. That's lovely. And it's lovely to think that they are still around, or they're still. David says you've got a bit of whistle. I think that's just the feedback, David, sorry, of some of our microphones. So,
like that.
Who else we got? I'm just going through because I do want to hear about this tiger.
Oh, okay, the tiger. That was in, it was one of the really old cat buildings at Taronga Zoo.
And I'm just going to interrupt so people know you've actually worked in zoos, haven't you?
Yeah, I was a zookeeper at Taronga Zoo for about 8 years. Right. And this was back in the late 90s and early 2000s. And it was when I was doing a stint on the Asian animal round, and I had to do late lockup. So you'd be the last keeper there, and you'd have to let the animals in off exhibit into their night dens. And it was a creepy building. It also had a human ghost in it, but it had the tiger ghost as well. And it used to house tigers. But when they did renovations at the zoo, they moved the tigers to a completely different area, so there were no tigers left in that building. But when I was there quite often late on my own, I would hear tiger chuffing, and it's a really distinct noise they make when they come and greet you. And I can't really do it anymore. But I would hear a tiger chuff in that building when there were no tigers in there. And you'd turn around to see the tiger, but there was no tiger there. It was housing small cats at that point. So, it was a very, very creepy building, especially when you knew you were on your own. And that area of the zoo had quite a few ghosties. But, yeah, the ghost tiger.
Okay. Are you happy to talk about another zoo, or shall we leave that one?
Adelaide Zoo, yeah. I can talk about Adelaide Zoo. This isn't not ghost animals, but probably I've had several experiences in the nocturnal house at Adelaide Zoo. You would often hear, because you work in there by yourself, and so there's the main area in the nocturnal house where people come through, so the public gallery. And then out the back, there's a corridor that runs along either side to service all the back of the exhibit. So you open the little door and go in through the back. And then a food prep area out the back further. And quite often, even when I had the front roller door down, I would hear footsteps coming towards me through the main gallery area. Or you'd hear footsteps going up the corridors. Occasionally, you'd have all of your bowls and tins and everything set up on the bench in the food prep area. Sometimes they would all get chucked to the ground. So you'd hear a great crash and you'd come running out and then everything would be on the ground. Probably the strangest one that I had, I was in the Hobby Mouse exhibit, which is the very last exhibit on the left-hand side as you're going out. And if you look straight across the middle area where the public were, there was a ghost bat exhibit on the other side. And at this point, I wasn't vaccinated for rabies, so I couldn't work in the ghost bat area. So someone else would have to come in and do that for me. And this was before the zoo opened, so there were no other people in there. And I was working away, sitting mouse poo out of the sand in the Hobby Mouse exhibit. And I looked up, and there was someone in the ghost bat exhibit across the way. And so I gave them a wave, and they waved back. Thought nothing of it. I thought that's just the person that's cleaning them for me for the day. And then I finished cleaning what I was doing, went back out to the kitchen, and then the other keeper walked in, and I'm like, oh, thanks for doing the box for me today. Haven't been in there yet.
Oh,
yeah.
But whoever it was knew you were there.
They did, yeah. They gave a wave.
And we're happy to see you, yeah.
They were aware of it, so that's brilliant.
Yeah, so that's probably the biggest one at Adelaide. I've had a few at Taronga Zoo as well, but that was different.
Yeah, Kirsty says you really need to get into the zoo. Yes, Kirsty, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Coronavirus is going to stop any of that though for a long time, for a while though.
Unfortunately.
So now, because we're only on for half an hour tonight, guys, and that's been nearly the half an hour, what I'd like to do is when we do GhostCast one week, the proper one, not just the quick ghost tale type thing, paranormal tale, I really do want to maybe do an animal one. So if anybody else is really, really happy to come on, you've seen it's not horrible to come on here. We've not been nasty to these two lovely ladies, and they've been relaxed and enjoyed it. It's just like talking to friends, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then definitely drop me a line, because I reckon with animals we can go back to that. I think it's such a big subject, isn't it, really? And just going back to Taylor, by the way, talking about cats very quickly, I don't tell my tours about animals there. That's not what we talk about. But the amount of times that I've had people saying they've heard, they've seen, they've bent down to stroke the cat that's rubbing against their legs, or, when the cats need like that against your legs, or the feeling that, and there's no cat there. And it just goes on, the amount of reports I have about this cat that doesn't exist. So animals do seem to be just as much a big thing in our universe when they pass over as we are. People do say, and I will just finish with this. All right, one of the arguments is why only cats, dogs, horses? Why not ants? Why not lions? Or, well, tiger did, but why not deer or kangaroos? Why don't we see ghosts of them? And I had to think about that. Maybe it's because, I'll leave everybody with this thought before I finish. Could it be because domesticated animals or tigers in a zoo would have a connection with us as human beings? So maybe it's us that keep them here. Maybe it's us that attract that connection with them. A deer, a kangaroo, they don't have a connection with us. So why would they hang around? Why would they stay around? So maybe, I don't know how you feel about that, Jenny, whether that makes any sense to you. A wild animal
in its own surroundings. If a human being incurs into their area, they go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe that's what's going on. Maybe they are there. They just see us coming and go,
yeah.
It's a learned behaviour.
Maybe domestic animals want to be around us because we love them. We are connected to them. Wild animals, not so much. So what do you think there, Trina?
I definitely agree with that. I think it's the relationships that we have with the animals that connects them to us, and particularly if we're talking about reincarnation and we find the same soul again, that it has to be that relationship. And Josie was my heart dog. So You know, I had an extremely special bond with her, and I've got the same bond with Clover. So I think it is that relationship indeed. And, you know, we might see kangaroo ghosts, but we wouldn't know it because they'd just be a kangaroo bouncing across the paddock.
Shane says, actually, a goldfish would forget to come back. Thank you for that, Shane. Look, there's a look, thanks so much for coming on, Jenny and Trina. Yeah, it's hard to do this without. I just wanted some extra input. So, guys who are watching this, if you want to come on with a ghost story, it doesn't have to be about animals, all right? So far, this little segment, I've been the one telling my personal experience. I've got a couple more, but it'd be lovely to have your experiences. So what this is, Paranormal Tales, is not about proving the existence of ghosts. It's not about arguing the existence of ghosts. This is just about telling everybody's story, everybody's experience. Hey, we all love to sit around the campfire and listen to ghost stories. So definitely, if you want to come on, just let me know. We are very kind to you. With that, we are going to sign off. The reason we're going to sign off is because CAG will hate me if I don't. Because CAG is about to go live in about 20 minutes at the Adelaide jail for a live stream feed investigation. Unfortunately tonight, guys, it isn't for the public one. We're doing it for our Patreon down below, coming across in the banner there, for our Patreon subscribers, who Jenny, you're a subscriber. I think is a subscriber. Here's your Patreon subscribers. What's it like?
Awesome.
Great.
Absolutely awesome.
They have to say that from staring at them.
No, I tell you if it wasn't.
You can pay some fractions.
Actually, Jenny would. Trina, I have my fractions. I'm on half at the moment.
Cheers.
Cheers. Jenny was so good, she had coffee.
No, there's scotch in that.
Next time.
She says it's coffee. So for all you subscribers that are our subscribers, head across to the Patreon group page. It'll go live in about 20 minutes. I haven't seen CAG messaging on here, so I gather. And then for the higher tier Patreons, the apparitions, the ones that are right at the top, there'll be another hour for you from another section of the jail. So, but no public ones tonight. The public, for those who want to watch a investigation tomorrow, Wednesday, I will be at Z Ward. We'll do our usual free hour for you lot, and then we'll cross over to our Patreons as well. So if you want to subscribe, it's only $5 a month. Well, $8 Australian, and that's where you go, patreon.com, Haunted Horizons. You keep us going in a hard time, guys. So thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Trina. We're going to sign off and hopefully see you all again next week on GhostCast Paranormal Tales.
Okay. Bye. Bye.